Israel and Lebanon hold direct talks for the first time in decades, a historic turning point. For the first time in decades, Israel and Lebanon have held direct talks, marking a historic and highly sensitive moment in Middle Eastern diplomacy. The talks, described by U.S. officials as a milestone, aim to begin a process of ongoing negotiations focused on the security of both countries. While expectations remain cautious, the mere fact that the two longtime adversaries sat at the same table has sent strong signals across the region and the international community. This development comes after years of indirect communication, proxy conflicts, and repeated border tensions. According to Al Jazeera, the meeting represents a shift not toward immediate peace, but toward structured dialogue, something that has been missing for generations. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio described the talks as just the start of the process, emphasizing that while historic, the discussions will require patience, compromise, and sustained international involvement. 1. A history of hostility between Israel and Lebanon. To understand why these talks matter so deeply, it is essential to look at the long and troubled history between Israel and Lebanon. 1.1. The roots of conflict. Israel and Lebanon do not share diplomatic relations. Since Israel's establishment in 1948, Lebanon has officially considered Israel an enemy state. Over the decades, this hostility has been fueled by wars, border skirmishes, and the involvement of non-state armed groups operating from Lebanese territory. 1.2. Wars and military confrontations. The most notable conflicts include the 1982 Israeli invasion of Lebanon, the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war, repeated airstrikes, rocket attacks, and border incidents in the years that followed. Each confrontation deepened mistrust and hardened political positions on both sides. 1.3. The Hezbollah factor. One of the most complex elements in Israel-Lebanon relations is Hezbollah, a powerful armed and political group in Lebanon backed by Iran. Israel considers Hezbollah its most serious immediate security threat, while Hezbollah frames itself as a resistance movement defending Lebanon. Because Hezbollah holds significant influence within Lebanon, any talks involving Lebanese security inevitably intersect with Israel's concerns about the group's military capabilities. 2. Why direct talks are so significant. For decades, Israel and Lebanon communicated only through indirect channels, often via the United Nations or third-party mediators such as the United States or France. 2.1. Breaking a political taboo. Direct talks were long considered politically impossible, especially in Lebanon, where public engagement with Israel is deeply controversial. The decision to engage directly signals a recognition that indirect mechanisms are insufficient, growing fear of unintended escalation, international pressure to stabilize the region. 2.2. A shift from military to diplomatic tools. While neither side has abandoned military preparedness, the talks suggest a renewed emphasis on diplomacy over confrontation, at least in managing immediate risks. 2.3. Regional context. The talks occur amid heightened tensions across the Middle East, including conflicts involving Iran, Gaza, and southern Lebanon. Regional instability has raised the cost of miscalculation, making dialogue a strategic necessity rather than a political luxury. 3. The role of the United States. The United States has played a central role in facilitating the talks. 3.1. Washington as a mediator. The U.S. has long positioned itself as Israel's closest ally, while also maintaining significant influence in Lebanon through diplomatic and military assistance. This dual leverage allowed Washington to push both sides toward dialogue. 3.2. Marco Rubio's statement. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio described the meeting as a milestone, but stressed that it is not a peace agreement. His comments highlight the fragility of the process, the likelihood of setbacks, the need for sustained engagement. Rubio emphasized that the talks are intended to reduce risks, not resolve all disputes at once. 3.3. American strategic interests. From Washington's perspective, Preventing another Israel-Lebanon war is critical. Such a conflict could drag in Iran and other regional actors, disrupt global energy markets, destabilize already fragile governments. 4. What was discussed in the talks? While full details have not been made public, officials confirmed that discussions focused primarily on security-related issues. 4.1. Border stability. One of the key topics was the security situation along the Israel-Lebanon border, an area that has seen repeated incidents involving rockets, airstrikes, and military patrols.